My name is Dali Josipovic. I'm from Atlanta Financial Center, and super fired up to share with all of you this morning about this topic. This topic is very dear to my heart. To be honest, meeting mentality is one of the biggest mentalities. I believe if you can conquer, if you can understand, if you can do it, I believe that you can do anything. I believe that you can really become successful. So I just want to introduce myself for some of you who don't know me. I've been in this organization and the campaign for the last 11 years. I'm originally from Europe, and when I came on this campaign, before I even came to America, I already endured and went through, 3 wars coming to US. And I was 15 years old when I came to America. And one thing I'll tell you, just through that, before I came to US, we went through a lot to see my family, to see my community go through a lot into different wars and different things. But coming to America gave me the opportunity to, see a bigger picture. And I always prayed that I will find something that I love doing. I will find something that I can impact people's lives, but also I will find something that I can commit and I can really impact a lot of families. And so coming to America, one of the things, I'm just going to share my story, but I want to really get to the point with this. I want to share with you, coming to America, my first, pretty much my job, what's per se, is actually a retail. How many of you are retail workers? Anybody worked in retail before? That was my first job. I actually worked at the Kroger, my first job. I didn't speak any English. I only know how to smile, shake my head, and they told me I can bag groceries, and I did that. But one thing, I learned how to smile, right? So I smiled, and I did that, and moved. And one of the things with working in retail, all of you can test, you have to show up. How many of you think you can actually work at the retail and not show up? How can you work at the job and not show up and make money? One thing I learned very quickly coming to America, if I don't show up, nothing's gonna happen. If I don't clock in and clock out, I will not make any money. If I don't show up, my family will not be helped, right? And so this is me working at Walmart, right? And I was actually a pharmacy tech there. That was my last position when I went there. And I cut off the picture, but this little smiley face says, "How may I help you? How may I help you?" And the rule of Walmart is basically you have to approach everybody, 5-foot rule, right? How can I help you? How may I help? How may I serve you? How can I help you? And one thing I learned through this company, through Walmart being the way they are, they have a humongous meeting mentality. Okay, coming to Walmart, every morning we had to huddle in the morning before the meeting starts. And we have to do similarly like whoosh, okay? We have to get together, the store manager will tell his goals, this is what's on agenda today, and they will literally do the chant. We will clap and say, "Give me a W, give me an A, give me an L, give me an M, give me R, give me a T, give me a squiggly. What's that spelled? Walmart." And we will excitingly shout in the whole entire store, "Walmart." And I'm like, man, this is exciting. So I can see the team, I can see the excitement. But one thing I look back, whose empire was I building? I was shouting for who? But one thing I learned working there, that I had to show up and I had to work hard, and and anytime somebody was going to call off, they will call me to work, because I understood, coming from third world country, that I have to go to work and I have to have a high level of discipline to work. The next thing they told me, but I was hungry. Working for Walmart, I wasn't satisfied. I wanted something more. So they told me, "Hey, you know what? My store, a co-manager said, 'Hey, my wife does Mary Kay. I think you'll be a great candidate. You're friendly. You can talk to people. You can engage. Why don't you talk to her?' As soon as she showed me the Mary Kay, I said, man, I can work for myself. I have an opportunity." And you know what? My 3rd month working for Mary Kay, guess what I got? Yep, you can see it on the screen. I won that car. I actually got that car. And they told me, "Dali, you can get a free car." And I was like, free car? Really? But one of the things that Mary Kay I had to do is I had to go to the meetings. Mary Kay has meetings too. I had to go, I had to learn how to do makeup. I had to go and learn, I had to get a lot of inventory. Oh my goodness. I remember working at Walmart, I saved money and I literally invested $3,600, my big Upstart kit. Talk about $30 Upstart package, right? My first Upstart package with Mary Kay was $3,600. And the person who ordered makeup for me didn't make sense. It was not my color. It was not my community color. I was stuck. But I'll tell you, I was fired up. Why? Because I saw the opportunity. I can change my life. Hey, I can work for myself. I have freedom. But one thing is I really had to hustle, because how much makeup can I sell? Think about it. If the lipstick is $12, I have to sell how many lipsticks to actually make $1,000? My profit is $6. But one thing why I actually moved quickly and got the car in first 3 months, it takes people years. I understood the meeting mentality. They told me show up for training, show up for meetings, and I showed up. But I also engaged my family. My family was there for me and they assist me and helped me. But that was not it. I found myself struggling. I found myself, trying to meet the quota every single month. And I realized also there was not something that people need. So they told me, hey, Dali, you know what? There's actually jewelry, high fashion jewelry. You can do this. And I was like, really? Oh my goodness, I love jewelry. So I can go ahead and make money. They said, but you know what? You got to come to the meetings. There's calls. We're going to teach you how to set up the table. You got to come an hour early to people's homes. You got to set up this beautiful table. You got to propose. You got to let them touch and feel, prepare and sell. Woohoo! I said, man, this is phenomenal. I can go and sell this jewelry like nothing because you know what? This is girl's best friend, right? And I went and I'll tell you, I dragged this jewelry to people's homes. I set up people's tables and my trainer sometimes will come with me, sometimes won't, and they will come and snag, girls will get together. But sometimes I'll go home from Mary Kay shows and from our jewelry shows broke because people try, but they don't buy. So, but I had to go. This was a new thing for me. I had to show up for meetings and trainings and calls, and they will call them shows. And sometimes when I go to these functions weekly, I had to pay to show up. I had to contribute $5 or $10 every meeting to be able to get there because they will use that money for something else. But I'll tell you why I look for the opportunities. I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to make something else. So working at Walmart, I was actually doing both of these things to try to figure it out. So once I did this jewelry, I actually got pregnant. I was working at Walmart. And I was in pharmacy. Some of you maybe remember, those of you who are in medical field or pharmacy field, right now, 13 years ago, $10 prescription came out. And, I went to work that day. And what happened is I was pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant. And I literally delivered my son 10 weeks early. And he was born 2 pounds, 15 ounces. So this was my son who was born. But I'll tell you, I took a year off. And same day when my son came out of the hospital, right? Same day I got a flowers for my job from Walmart. Oh my goodness. I was going to scan the picture, but those flowers were so beautiful. And same day I got actually $75,000 bill from the hospital. And I had to pause and I'm like, man, this is a job that Walmart, and again, I love what I do. I love people. That's why I love what I was doing. But I realized that I actually gave my blood, sweat, and tears to a company who literally, when I needed them the most, they didn't take care of me. They only gave me the flowers and they were not there for me. And I showed up all the time. And when I needed them the most to hire more people or that day to have more people, they didn't. So my son was born and I took a year off to take care of him. And that's where WSB and WG opportunity came along. And well, one of the things that for me, when my son was born, how many of you will leave this baby at home, right? And go to training? How many of you will actually leave this baby at home and go to training? So when I came, right, this is my first actually convention, 2010. I couldn't go to the 2009 one because my son was just born, he was so little. But a TTT 90 was my first event in Atlanta. And Nita told me, hey, Dali, you gotta go. And I'm like, go where? You gotta go to TTT 90. I said, what is wrong with her? Can she see that I'm pumping every 2 hours? How can I leave this child? My husband is on the road, he's a truck driver. There's no way, And she keeps saying, no, you gotta go, you gotta go. I'm like, okay, something is not right with her. But she kept persisting for me to go. And it was really tough for me to leave this child, but I'm a first-time mommy at home and actually go to this event. But I'm so thankful I went. I saw what I saw. I saw people from all walks of life. I was only 24 years old. And I saw at that time, Johnny and his brother. I saw them come on stage and share their story. I saw so many people there and it gave me a hope. And so when I came back, I said, But I'll tell you one thing, when I went to that first event at TTT 90, I felt really, 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 really bad because my mom was like, hey, how can you go and leave this baby at home? My husband is like, you doing what? My sister was like, you gonna go where? So my family loves me so much, but they're like, how can you go and to trainings and meetings and leave this person at home? And for me, as a mother, I don't know how many of you moms out there can actually relate to this. It was really, really tough. because you want to do your best, but you see a hope. And one of the things when I went to this arena, and actually this is the arena right on the top on the left hand side, that's where I first time me and Kenny from Canada and the crew, we actually heard Adeolu talk on stage and give us 10 commandments. And I was fired up when I heard those 10 commandments. We were all the way up in the top shouting those 10 commandments. And that's how Kenny and all those individuals, like the young lady who just became a green jacket from last 10, 11 years ago, this is us. And we endured and we stayed through. And that's where I saw coach in action. And look at us here, right? But one of the things I'll tell you, that gave me hope. Going to these trainings and meetings gave me hope. And it was very tough. My husband did not go to this first meeting together with me. I went by myself. Okay, but I went and I saw what I saw with my own eyes. We look at people, we say, oh, like easy them, lucky them. But you know what? All of us have to make sacrifices. And one of the things that I realized, I had to make huge sacrifices working for Walmart. I had to make huge sacrifices working from even Mary Kay. And I've done so many other things because I was always looking for hope, right? But let me ask you this, right? What is your excuse? One of the things that are on the have to take a responsibility and initiative for yourself. Stop blaming your circumstance or what you are able to change. Sometimes we blame our parents, blame our kids, blame our this, blame our spouse. Oh my God, we are home right now. Everything is happening. We have so much to blame. But one of the things that we have to really, really understand, one of the things why my meeting mentality is so big, it's my why. Because, if my why is stronger than my excuse, I will show up at every meeting. And let me tell you one thing, when I immigrated and come to America, there was a point that we actually traveled 9 days during the war from one point to another. And I remember those 9 days being in that trailer with my family. And I was only 13 years old. And I remember us just literally waiting, who's going to throw us food so we can eat to get to the next destination. And I remember the faces that my parents had at that time. Like, how are we gonna feed these two girls? And I told myself then, no matter where I get to go, no matter if it's this different part of the country, I always prayed to go to the United States when I was little because I just wanted to change. But I will make sure that I never get to this position again. So people ask me, what is my why? Yes, I have so many, but I'll tell you one thing. I just don't want to be in the position. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be struggling like my parents did to try to feed us. And coming to America, I saw the opportunity. And when I saw WFG, I saw my reasons and I saw my excuses, but I really had to look into my why. So right now, my why equals to meeting mentality.